Hey folks, it's Nick. We have the tray washers back in stock, and we have some feedbacks from some of the earlier adopters of the washer itself, and we wanted to share what they shared with us and go into a little bit more detail. So we're going to walk you around the tray washer in a little bit more detail and show you all the parts and how they work and what you can expect whenever they come in the box. And then we're going to talk to the designer, Julian, to give a little bit of extra background and detail on some things you might not have thought about. So Carrie is going to walk you through the parts and pieces and the operation of the machine.
This is the back of the unit. It'll come with the cover on it, and you should never have to mess with it, but we took it off because we want to show you the parts here. So this is your high pressure side. This is going to be for the top bar, and this is for the bottom bar. And Nick is going to show you how to hook up that pressure washer. On this side, we have our low pressure for sanitation for the high bar and low bar. And unattached in the box, you'll also have your sanitation siphon. You'll just take this and place it onto the low bar. It's a clockwise rotation. Also included unattached is your siphon hose. We suggest that you put this out in the sun for a little while just to help it uncoil. This filter end will go into the sanitation bucket, and this end will attach here to your sanitation siphon.
So before we show you the rest of the unit, we're going to put the cover back on. Again, you may periodically check it just to make sure debris or spiders or something haven't got caught in there. There are little studs, they're threaded. It's a 7/16 nut driver or socket, so go ahead and put that on there. So now that we have this on, please do this with just hand tightening. Don't try to get a drill. It's just a protective cover for the hoses. So if you drill into it, there's a chance that you get too excited, break the welds. Don't do that.
So this is the entry side of the unit. This is the side you'll put your trays in. This ramp will come unattached. If there's 2 screws, you'll just take those out, put them back in. Again, like Nick said earlier, just hand tighten them. Try not to use a drill. The brush here on this side is not necessarily for cleaning the trays. It just helps keep the water inside the unit. There's a lot of pressure, a lot of water in there, so that helps keep it in. And any excess water will fall into this ramp and go back into this slot and go drain out of the unit. This is the front side of the unit. It gives you just a good view of your entry ramp and your exit ramp. And this is the exit side of the machine. Just like on the other side, it has a brush here to help keep the water in the unit, and this ramp so that it has the same slot in it, so that as you push your trays out, it gives them a little bit of time for that water to drain back into the unit. And on the top of the unit, we have these 2 latches so that you can remove the top, and that allows you to clean the inside of the unit after you're done washing. And last, on the back of the unit, we have the drain hose hookup. You're going to connect a 3/4 inch garden hose right here. Notice that there's not a filter or anything that tends to get clogged, so you just want a free flowing, and that's why you want the larger garden hose. And that hose, some people using it outside or just letting it flow outside. You can let it flow into a bucket. If you're inside, you can let it flow into a sink.
So before I show you how we're going to hook this up to the pressure washer and do all the drain lines and all of that stuff, I want to talk a little bit about the intended use of this particular unit. We actually make microgreen trays and make 1020s. That's our primary business. So it would kind of make sense that we make a tray washer to fit those trays for our customers that have supported us all these years. So even though we would love to make a tray washer for everything out there, we have no control over how those trays are made, what they're made out of, how strong they are, dealing with a lot of pressure here, and we can't be responsible for somebody else's trays. So given that most microgreen growers use our trays, we made this for our clients. So if you want a tray washer, maybe it's time to make the switch, and you'll be happy you did. The second point we want to address is keep in mind, we do kind of take a look at all the forums and all the groups out there, and we see what you're saying, in that we wish this had a pressure washer already. Why do we have to buy a second unit? And that's because if we are going to bootstrap, and if we want to give you all the options, some of you are in southern climates, some of you are in northern climates, some of you are outdoors, some of you have an outdoor wash pack. It's so many variables, is that we're giving you the base unit in order for you to go, okay, what pressure washer best suits my needs? And then you can go out and get your own pressure washer based on your budget. Now, we have a specific set that we recommend, that we've tried, that we know it works, and we would love for you to get those pressure washers to eliminate all of the hassles that you may have. We have had Several of these go out, and a couple of people that we've checked with, they've bought some cheaper units. They already regret that they've bought the cheaper units because they can already tell you, hey, this doesn't clean as good as we know it can. We've talked to the other growers. We kind of got a neat little network going right now of these owners. And the people that went ahead and just got the correct unit in the beginning, they're having a great time. The other people, they know that on the horizon, they're going to spend more money later on. So take a look at those recommendations. If you have any questions, go ahead and call into our tech line. We'll be happy to guide you through and make sure that you get the right pressure washer. But it's not included because you have the choice to make this truly custom for your operation. The next thing we'll talk about is setting your expectations on how this thing is going to clean. The best practice is to harvest, do everything you got to do, package, and then clean your trays before they get, time to get all nasty and crusty. So will this take the roots off? It's going to blast a lot of them off, but if you have sunflower shoots or pea shoots and that you have that really thick undercoat mat of roots, you might want to go ahead and scrape those off. A, it's easier for the unit to digest, and B, you're less likely to clog the drain. The second thing to think about is how much water is going to be splashing about out of this thing. So we're going to get into cleaning units and the pressures and all that here in a second, but this is a high volume, high pressure situation. Of course, there's going to be a little bit of water coming out. So I guarantee you it's probably going to be less water than you currently have as you're scrubbing and spraying and all that stuff. But wherever you're cleaning your trays now, it's likely to be a perfect situation for this. Yes, there's going to be a little bit of mist coming out. And yes, there's going to be a little bit of water that as you move your trays from the ramp to your cleaning rack, of course, water is going to drip on the floor, just like it probably already does. So we've built the ramps, we've built the little slots to feed the water back, we have the brushes to keep the mist from coming out, but you should expect a little bit to come out. And again, that's a variable depending on your situation, your setup, and the pressure washer that you choose, but probably going to get a little wet. Next up, I want to address some concerns that people had about the sanitation solution. So it's one of those things where we're knocking down on high pressure the debris, the dirt, any of the residue, the roots, things like that. And the very last thing that happens, and it gets a bath of the sanitizer solution as it's coming out. Now, for most people, that's more than they ever do anyway. We talked to a lot of microgreen growers. I know that this is a very popular topic on the forums, but in the growers that we address and that we talk to in development of this, that pass is great. That's what they use. So if you don't think that's going to work for you, totally understand. That's okay. That's how we have set this up, and it's the very last pass, and we think you're going to be happy with it. So a couple of things that we have seen out in the field. This clip is from Midori Acres in Taos, New Mexico. They built a big pan to put this on that they felt was better for their needs. That's a great solution for capturing some more of that water that tends to spill about, where they have a tray that goes right into their sink. These are great solutions, custom built, that they have figured out on their own, and I encourage you to think about where you're going to put this and what might work best for you. This last one is, of course, the very first trial that we had out at Peak Microgreens in Vail, Colorado. Here they're outside. They didn't even put the ramps on. They're just trying to get things done. It's the middle of winter. And the feedback that we got from them is, yeah, they get a little wet, but again, just like I said a minute ago, it's not as much as they did when they were hand washing, and the amount of time that they save means that they're out in the cold, out getting wet far less than they ever had whenever they were having to wash the trays by hand. So remember, you're buying this as a time saver. This is about a 9-second run through here, so 9 seconds divided by an hour is about 400 trays an hour. Once you're practiced and getting full at it and you're used to everything, usually just takes one cycle and then you got it down. So keep in mind, yes, you're gonna get a little bit of wet. Yes, you may be outside, but you're gonna be outside a whole lot less than you would be on a regular cleaning scenario.
Up next, we're going to hear from the designer of the tray washer, Julian Sandoval. But before that, another question we've gotten is, why did we not put a conveyor belt on it? Anything like that, any mechanicals that don't mix well with water is going to add to the cost. The conveyor belt's crazy expensive. We want to try to keep the cost down without sacrificing the quality. So any kind of mechanicals going to wear out, so we just decided to leave those off. And to honor our commitment to sustainability, we've had these made very local. They're close to our warehouse. We're able to keep an eye on manufacturing, reduce manufacturing miles, so we're keeping that impact low. This is a unit that's going to last you for years. It comes with a 2-year warranty, and it's designed to work with the trays that are also backed by a 2-year warranty that are going to last you year after year after year. We've already made upgrades on this next batch to make them even better.
This is Julian with Bootstrap Farmer. Today I'm going to talk to you about the tray washer that we created. This is designed for the Bootstrap Farmer 1020 deep tray and our microgreen tray. I've seen the tray washer compared to a commercial dishwasher. Understand that when this was designed, it was designed to clean a Bootstrap Farmer tray, top and bottom, and to do just that. So it's not going in a unit that was designed to clean dishes or clean plates or things of that nature. It was specifically designed with cleaning the tray in mind. The nozzle placement of this unit is designed to directly clean the lower half and the upper half of the tray. Unlike a dishwasher where nozzles and jets spray in all different directions just to try to get everything. And in our case, it is aimed directly at the base of the tray so that it cleans the area that needs to be cleaned. When you get the machine, there's not a fitting or a quick connect on it. There's a reason for that. I can't predict what pressure washer you're going to use, and there's no national standard for pressure washer fittings. So yours could be 1/4 inch, it could be 3/8 like this, it could be M22 with an O-ring. There's several different configurations. So for using the sanitizing circuit on the tray washer, it's the second circuit. It's a low pressure circuit, so it can siphon chemicals and mix them in a 2-to-1 ratio. So for every 2 gallons that runs through it, it's going to suck up 1 gallon through the siphon hose. If your sanitizer is double strength, then when it mixes with the 2 gallons, it will be regular strength. So it's gonna cut it in half. Please refer to the chart on our website. If you have further questions, we do have a comprehensive list of many different commercial sanitizers on there. And to clarify, the sanitizer does not hook up to the soap injector on the pressure washer. What you have to understand is that there's a check ball in there, and if the pressure washer is in a high pressure mode, it does not siphon any fluids. So that's why there's a separate circuit in the low pressure side on the tray washer to siphon sanitizers. When it goes through, it's going to hit the high pressure first, and then the tray travels on, and then on the back side of the machine, as the tray travels through, then the low pressure puts the sanitizer on it. So it's being rinsed with the sanitizer after it's being cleaned with the pressure washer. And as the tray comes out, the whole tray gets covered with a sanitizer rinse, top and bottom. On the inlet and the exit of the machine, there are nylon brushes. The brushes are soft. They're not there to clean anything. They're actually to mitigate water. So since we've got high pressure spray inside of it, this helps to keep the water from being sprayed out of the tray washer. And then you've got the ramps on both sides, and those are designed for the water to run off of them and run back into the basin part of the tray washer so that it can drain with everything else. Understand that the tray washer does use high pressure water, and it does get some water outside of the unit. So if operated in a commercial kitchen where you have a floor in the drain, you should be fine. In other cases, if you need to confine the water, you might think about purchasing a drip tray for an air conditioning unit, and you can place the tray washer in that to capture any additional water that comes off of the machine. Let's talk about pressure washer strength. Pressure washers can have high pressure and low volume. You can have a pressure washer that's got a lot of volume and low pressure. So what you'd see at a car wash. At a car wash, you're gonna see something that's got a lot of gallons per minute. We're talking 4 to 5 gallons per minute at a low pressure, so you're not peeling paint off of your car. To get an equal standard, what the industry does is multiplies the gallons per minute times the pressure. It's gonna give you what they call cleaning units. If you're gonna go electric with the unit, with a pressure washer, it's gonna be a little bit more expensive. Now, my thought behind that is I would spend more money to get an electric unit because I can operate it indoors. It's gonna save you money over time because you're not gonna have to go get fuel for it. If you have a gas pressure washer, it's gonna have to operate outside. You're also gonna have to transport fuel back and forth, and that's gonna take time. So If you're having to get fuel every 2 weeks for the unit, that's probably an hour. You're gonna have to drive to a gas station, you have to fill it up, you have to transport it back, and then you've also got to have a place to store that flammable material. Again, I think electric is a better choice for a pressure washer for this unit, but at the same time, I also understand economics in that a gas-powered unit that will do the same thing is less expensive. We've had a lot of questions about the cleaning ability of the tray washer itself. Would you eat dinner at your home and let it sit on a plate for a week before you washed it? So you shouldn't do that with microgreen trays or growing trays. As soon as you harvest, empty out the media and try to get to cleaning it as soon as possible. We've had a lot of questions about the retail price on the unit. Understand that a lot of thought and consideration went into how this thing's going to operate, containing the water. It's made out of stainless steel, so it can go in a NSF certified kitchen, and obviously it's not going to rust, it's going to last a very long time. The retail price also includes the cost of shipping and our tech support and customer service. So if you've dealt with Bootstrap Farmer before, you know we've got top-notch customer service, and our tech line's available Monday through Friday to answer questions for you, and they can also get us on the phone on the weekends if necessary. So the unit comes with support. When you get one, we know you'll have questions on how to hook it up, how to run chemicals through it. Understand at the retail prices that currently, this is not designed for someone who's got 100 trays. This is designed for somebody who has a larger operation and needs to wash 400 or 500 trays a couple times a week or 1,000 trays a week. Remember, you can run 400 trays through this in an hour. Just the labor savings itself is tremendous. If you have any questions about the tray washer, please give us a call at 888-406-1982, option 1, and speak to me at the tech line.